What's up, guys? Got an awesome product to review with you today. It's the Curado 200. Um, that's the box, the reel, and in the box it comes with these instructions over here. It's important that you guys give this yellow piece of paper a little read. Pretty much tells you how to take care of it, the infinity braking system. I know a lot of people were complaining about grinding noises, and I believe those noises coming from not lubing that outer piping, which I'll show you guys later. In the box, it always comes with replacement brakes, which is awesome. But the only thing that this didn't come with was lube or grease that the Cananan did come with. All right. Let's go over some stuff here. Alright. So I have the 5.5 to 1 gear ratio. I guess the new features of this, it's featuring the X ship. Not really sure what the X ship is, but I'm almost certain that it has something to do with the gearing in the inside, which I don't want to take apart and mess around with stuff like that. So I'm just gonna take their word for it and assume that it's doing what it needs to do. So the Shimano Curado 200, it features an aluminum frame, but the side plate is still a graphite composite, I believe. So this is what so the new feature of this is that it's got this side plate that can pop up, which I believe what they're calling it is an escape hatch. So it kind of just pops up like an escape hatch, and by doing so, you can take out your spool. Okay, there we go. So as you can see here in the spool, you got your 4 centrifugal brakes. It came factory preset with 2 on. This is the same thing that they had in the Cananan. This is just a bigger spool. So this is a 200. So one thing I realized when I opened this up was a lot of stuff didn't seem like it was lubed up too well. So I kind of had to just go through and oil the bearings here. Put a little grease on this shaft, the spool shaft right here. Let's see. So the difference between this and the Cananan is that this also has external braking adjustments. Now, I made a previous video and I said these were magnetic, and they're not. So that's why I'm kind of just redoing this whole video for you guys. This is not magnetic. So, but pretty much when you turn this brass piping right here that the brakes usually would lay on when you spin it, you can adjust how much of it comes out. So I'm not sure you guys can see it, but as you turn it up, you can see the piping is coming up and up and up, more flush with that black inner piece. So that's cool. Let me pop this back in. There we go. Overall, the construction is really good. I have it spooled up with 30-pound monofilament with 5.5. I'm really just throwing crankbait square bills such as this, 1.5 KBD. Ow. Okay. Everything here, I love this star drag system. It's actually made out of aluminum. It's not composite, so it's got a really nice sturdy feeling to it. I like the grips here. Now this crank bar is, I believe, 84 millimeters. I kind of wish it was a little longer. I kind of like the 90s, but it's got a good feel to it. I like it. not too much complaint to the normal user. Let's see what else I can say. Okay, so kind of just let's take a comparison between the Curado and the Cananan. I don't know if you guys can see it. So yeah, Canan's got the carbon composite drag system, whereas this has the aluminum. This is a graphite composite frame, but it's still really sturdy. I like it. But this is also a little lighter. I'm not really sure if that's going to be a selling point for all of you. Just to show you that the braking system and the inside are the same. Same. I like this reel so far. But I have found a few gripes here and there that not really sure if it's going to be a tipping point for some people, if they're going to like it or hate it just because of that. So, for example, this escape hatch, for the most part, it's easy to pop on and pop back off. But say that you have your spool tensioner really tight. I don't know if it's on really tight because you're trying to string up line or you're trying to do whatever that needs to be on tight. You'll realize that the escape hatch, this locking mechanism right over here, you can't even unlock it. So, you know, if you're ever like in a jam where, you know, you find yourself in that scenario where your spool tensioner is on all the way tight and you happen to need to go and adjust something inside, you can't. Also, if you have your spool tensioner on tight, you know, vice versa, you can't get this piece back on. Oops, sorry. So you can't get this piece back on. You got your spool tensioner, so it's kind of, if you're on the waters and you're fishing a tournament, you got to make adjustments. This, what they made to be a time saver, can actually be a waste of your time trying to, you know, loosen up your spool tensioner, popping this plate back on. See, I'm still having trouble popping it back on. Popping it back on. But you see what I mean? It's meant to save time, but it's not. Okay, there you go. Say I had to like loosen the spool tensioner enough just to pop this back on, and then you're gonna spend even more time readjusting the spool tensioner with whatever you're throwing on after. So yeah, it's an awesome feature, but I could see where this could be its weakest spot, the side plate. So I don't know if it just needs to be dialed in and kind of just like broken in. See, sometimes it just pops right in. Sometimes it doesn't. So it's a little bit inconsistent. I kind of would like to see some improvements on that by Shimano's part. Hopefully they release like some kind of updated version on that. But for the most part, you know, like it's really it's castable. It's very smooth on the retrieve and the cast. So there's no problem with that, because most of the time what happens, you know, I'll set this to, you know, 2 or 1, and I'll just close it, and then for the rest of the day I'll be using this external braking system right here to do my fine braking stuff. So I guess if you're someone who just adjusts what they need to do in the inside, pop it back on, and, you know, that's it for the rest of the day, and, you know, any kind of minor adjustments you can just do here. But I just like having the options, you know, open to whatever I need in case I do need to adjust the brakes inside. I want to be able to kind of pop it up open and pop it back in, you know, in less than a second without having to do anything else. Also, one more thing. I noticed that on the spool shaft, these pins here are different diameters. You know, you got one that's thicker than the other. I'm not really sure why they made it like that. I was wondering if anybody with some kind of engineering background can explain this to me. Because if you look, I don't know if this has anything to do with the X ship. It might. So I was hoping someone that's more educated on Shimano products can tell me why they made it like that. Because if you look at the Cananan, those pins on the Cananan are the same. And the Cananan doesn't have X ship. So can anyone tell me why? Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. I just started out, so every subscriber counts. It makes me feel really special each time I see like I have a new subscriber, or even if one extra person like watches the review other than myself. So thank you again. Please subscribe and leave any comments or questions in the box below, and I'll get back to you guys. Thank you.